everyone. I am honored to say a few words to you. Good luck with today's panel. I don't think I need to say how difficult this time has been during the pandemic, but just to repeat what we already know, that this has been a time to reset and reprioritize many systems that we're living in. And since today we're specifically talking about fashion, fashion needs to become a 21st century industry. It needs to be fair and equitable for all. And it needs to be sustainable for the planet and for people. So today, as you talk about sustainability in fashion, it's an opportunity to reset, restart, and rethink how we make everything, how we discard our clothing, how we think about the supply chain and those who work in the supply chain. So I urge you and I applaud you to continue to think outside the box and innovate and create. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Fashion Matters, our spotlight on the industry. Today, our topic is sustainability. The fashion industry's pivot towards a more responsible business model seems more urgent than ever across the production and consumption chains if we are to slow down the climate crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic brought a short halt in overconsumption and manufacturing for many individuals and businesses, providing us with a glimpse of how quickly our planet could heal if we were to care better and live in a more responsible way. To discuss the issues around sustainability, I am happy to welcome Dana Thomas, veteran style writer and author of Fashionopolis, The Price of Fast Fashion and the Future of Clothes. Dana, I'm so happy to have you with us today. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Thanks for having me. It's wonderful to be here. Today we're here to talk about the fashion process. Sourcing, designing, shows, sales, and how it can be rethought and remade into a cleaner, smarter system for both planet and humanity. To do this, we have four wonderful and distinguished panelists. We have Kevin Germanier, who is a Swiss-born designer, creates glamorous women's wear with upcycled materials. We have Pierre Maheo, founder and designer of the ethically minded menswear brand Officine Générale. We have Pascaline Wilhelm, fashion director of Premier Vision, the world's largest creative sourcing trade show, which happens twice a year outside of Paris. And then, of course, we have Agnès Bay, a pioneer in responsible fashion movement.
My pleasure.
A national treasure, I would say. Dana, I want to start by asking you, what is fashion's impact on the planet today?
The fashion industry is far more impactful than we imagine it to be. It's something that, you know, when you get dressed in the morning, you think, oh, I'm putting on something really beautiful and it's very cool and hip. But in fact, there's a much bigger impact than just buying clothes.
How do you think businesses can act better in this crucial space?
I think there's a big misconception about what sustainable fashion is. For me, it's not a trend, it's just the obvious way of creating and working and building your business. Yes, I'm a designer, so I create a product, but at the end of the day, I really want also my business to be sustainable, meaning the women and the men are paid equally. We're making sure that everyone that is working at Germanier is treated well. I regularly travel to Shanghai to see where the fabrics are coming from. So, you know, it's a lot of behind the scene work to make sure that your business overall is sustainable. Not only our product, but it just needs to make sense from A to Z.
And yes, you've been a pioneer in fashion, in sustainable and ethical fashion since the very days. Why?
Yes.
Why did you take this path?
Because I don't like fashion. I love clothes, I love doing my work, I love designing, but I always tried to do clothes forever. That's the best way for me.
Clothes that
And
last
respect.
forever and
respect of people, respect of customers, respect of the people I work with, trying to manufacture in France as much as I could, always. And you see, this was designed in '79, the snap cardigan.
It's carrying
This
on.
skirt is 4 years old, but it has been so much copied I don't want to wear it anymore, maybe. But that happens, no? So I do new things. That's my way, but you can keep them for years. For men and women, that's how I love. So I think I'm sustainable in my way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pierre, how are you sustainable at Officine Générale? What do you do in your company to give it a more green allure?
Green doesn't mean anything for me at the moment, you know. It's too much and not enough. First of all, I choose to work with the best meal we can have in Europe, and in the world. Then it comes to where you produce. And I think more and more, and today, of course, after what we are living and the whole crisis we are facing, it's about being responsible in where you produce. You're going to produce where it makes sense. If I use a Shetland wool, I do the sweater with the Shetland yarn in a Scottish factory. If
Like I do myself. For cashmere, it's made in Mongolia. For alpaca, it's made in Peru, because they produce, and I think it's fair.
Yeah.
So we all, for my part, we all think that way too.
And it's
of course.
And it's very down to earth. It's not like you don't have to make a lot of study. If you bring some material from a country to another one to produce it, there is maybe one travel that is already too much. If you stop this one, I mean, you make it a little bit better. I decided to stop 90% of my denim in Japan because it became too big, and we were importing tons and tons of ropes by plane, because due to the lead time we have in fashion, we have to deliver on time. I could not do sea shipment, I had to do air shipment. So I said, let's find something in Europe, and we found denim in Spain and in Italy. So now we cut that part of transportation. I think it's really a question of when you are sitting on the table to design, having the right logical, it's nothing more than logical. The yarn comes from here, let's do it here. And it's pretty simple, but if you do that on every different level, it's already a big step.
It's ethic. It's only ethic.
Yeah, and social. Today we can consider three parts of sustainability. We can consider the company, the ethical, the social, the environmental way of thinking. We can think about the process, how it's made, what can we do with the finishing, with the dyeing, with all the way to produce. And after we have all the fact of the products. It's thank you for this panel and for this subject, because it's really important to explain how it's complex and how we can explain it. It's difficult, but if we are all together, we can make the things growing and be honest.
Absolutely.
And today, I think we have a question with honesty in this subject.
Absolutely.
Sorry, there is only 20% cotton bio on the earth. Only 20%. We have to know that.
That's a generous number. I've always been told it's 1%.
I've been making, yes, one shirt in cotton bio, but I don't want it to become like the food, which was bio. Only rich people could buy this food. Right. So you see,
no, but also
you have to make choices.
You're reaching a very important point, I think, which is that somehow sustainability has become an argument to sell things. Mm-hmm. So you'll go into a store and they'll say, like, look, this is great, you should buy it, it's sustainable. When, if we are honest, so you talk about honesty, we all know that to be more sustainable means to buy much, much less. And I don't know what you think, Dana, but COVID really showed us what happened when the whole of fashion kind of had to close down,
shut down
for a few months, which is unprecedented. I think it's never happened.
Not since the war.
Exactly. And I want to know whether you're optimistic, whether you think that people and businesses have actually learned lessons from this, and whether you think that there's a chance that going forward, sustainability is going to become less of the greenwashing marketing machine that we know it to be, and actually something where brands and businesses are going to start to actually be honest.
Like Pascaline was saying,
Exactly.
more honesty.
Yeah, you know, today there are the solutions. There are industrial solutions to make good clothes, to make all the chain from the conception to the distribution. In Première Vision, we have exhibitors making incredible development and really deep innovation about that. And sustainability is really technical. It's a technological way. It's not only heritage or something that look like old. Please, it's really technical. And when you see in sport, for example, in active sport, the development there, it's amazing. You know, you can have protective clothes really made with clever solution. And with biosolvent, with really things really deep, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge issue that when you think about sustainable fashion, it's a hippie-looking garment, something that is made out of, I don't know, leaf with a Save the Planet logo on your t-shirt. I think it can also be beautiful shirt, it could be timeless pieces as you do, but it can also be a fully beaded dress. You just have to source extremely well. What we do at Germanier is that we never ever produce anything. We just are upcycling what is there. Therefore, I don't produce anything for my business. And I don't carry any stock. So as you said, you just have to be innovative. There's no right or wrong, because as a young business, of course, I'm going to make mistakes. But as long as you're transparent and honest, I think the people really are, they understand what you were trying to say. And I think that's the new luxury, is to be really transparent and just honest.
Yeah.
And I hope that people are going to stop using this as a marketing tool. I think you just have to be true, because the customer is really fed up with, I'm on TV, I cannot say bad words, but yeah, the customer is fed up with the voilà.
BS.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
I think the way that trends used to be formulated in the media, because it was the media doing that, it was like, I think magazines had to kind of create a story around garments to sell the clothes. And now with social media and the way the world is globalized, there are brands popping up everywhere, and it's no longer the magazines that get to make those decisions. So I think everybody is creating their own trend, and that's why there are too many trends. So now everyone's like, well, there are no trends anymore.
I don't like trends.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, look at that cardigan that you're wearing, and yes, the cardigan that you're wearing is something that I would wear. I think it's so beautiful, and I think finally maybe we're reaching a generation where I think we decide what we want to wear because of who we are and not because of like what someone is telling us.
But also the season calendar, sorry, I think also it's a huge issue, at least for us, because they said, oh, okay, it's spring, summer, so I only have to do, I don't know, like linen dresses. Who said that? Is there a Bible of fashion if I want to do a coat? No, seriously, because my customer in Hong Kong is not going to buy the same thing as my customer, I don't know, in LA. So you really have to understand that Europe is not the center of the world. There's customer all around the world, and you have to please everyone. So
and some of them are in the southern hemisphere where it's winter.
And Armani was saying recently that why do you sell coat in August or July? You know, he was saying that, Armani. He was against the story of putting things too much in advance and to put on sale and etc.
Exactly.
He was right.
How, as consumers, can we encourage the big businesses around us to follow suit? Because it's all very well to have young brands and people like yourself like making sure that things are done better. The problem is coming from a lot of the other companies around us.
The problem is coming from education.
Yes, but
young people are more and more interested in all that.
Yes,
I'm very confident in that.
Today, the people in the street, they are our friends, they are activists. They want to know how the clothes are made. We are really lucky today because it's... Yes, people are thinking about how it's made. Wow.
There is a big parenthesis I want to open.
Yes.
It's about Bangladesh who is not paid.
Yes.
And this is terrible. We can talk about everything, but we have to talk about humanity.
Yes.
Don't you
Well,
think?
I say my book is about the
Don't you
planet
think?
and humanity.
Yeah.
And I went to Bangladesh
Yeah.
and went to see the factories and the
And
sweatshops.
they don't pay.
And they're
People
not
have
paying.
nothing to eat. They can't get food. They
Yes.
are not paid.
Only 2%.
And the stock is made and it's waiting to be paid. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
This
During
is crazy.
during confinement,
Yeah.
brands canceled their orders and didn't pay for things that were already made, and the clothes have been sitting on the docks.
Exactly.
And the workers
This
weren't
is
paid.
very important.
And the workers were only being paid half a living wage to begin with. Only 2% of the labor force in the fashion industry making our clothes earns a living wage, which
And
is what
it's-
economists say is what you need to house, clothe, and feed your families, that amount, fixed amount. So say you need $100 a month to do that, they're paid 50. And now they're paid nothing. And some of them said they'd rather go back and work in fear of getting coronavirus because that would be less terrible than going home and starving.
No, it's terrible.
So, you know, sustainability and
Something
ethics are
very-
important in every angle of creation, from the design and sourcing all the way to having the clothes made and then delivered, which gets us to our next point, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were going to get onto that. Non-polluting packaging is a very big issue.
We work a lot on that.
Yeah, because I
Yes.
think that obviously people
We don't want
tend to
plastic.
forget.
Too
Exactly.
much plastic.
And
Too
the coat
much.
hangers and the plastic
hangers,
the
yeah.
wrappings that the clothes come
Throwing
in
the
and the
hangers,
things that they're
yeah.
sprayed with, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's a disaster basically.
Yes.
And that's something that's often not talked about so much. Is that something that you focus on very much within your business?
Yes, we work a lot on that, really.
The problem with plastic is how cheap it is and how easy access it is. And actually, it's the fact that we turn it into something disposable, something that we just use once and then off. It
Single
goes.
use.
We throw it away, even though away is not a place. It's not an imaginary. Like away doesn't exist. Like away is a beautiful beach somewhere, and that's where all that plastic is piling up.
That's why we work with Tara about that. You know, the boat, the ship.
Yes.
We bought in
Yes, you bought
2003
Tara.
with my son Etienne, and we work on that the planet, the plastic, the pôle Nord, le pôle Sud with Tara.
Now, in fashion, plastic is in wrapping, it's in spritzes for bottles, it's in hangers, but it's also in polyester.
Yeah.
And polyester, 60% of our clothes today are made with some sort of polyester. And polyester, like plastic, because it is essentially plastic, never breaks down. So when we throw it away, it just sits in the earth forever. They say it takes 1,000 years. Well, now what do you do, Pierre, regarding sort of the fabrics that aren't friendly to the environment?
I try to skip as much as I can, of course. I mostly use only natural quality. So we use silk for women. We have some viscose, of course. We have some...
But it's sourced sustainably?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
again, the source sustainably is something you can't put your hand on the table saying, like, cut it if it's wrong. You know, what we do is we work with the best renowned company that are under control. They have to produce certificate. They have to have the traceability of the yarn, where they buy it and where it comes.
Exactly.
It's not a waterproof situation. You know, you can't make it sure at 100%. But today, we were talking just previously about the package. I challenged my team internally. That I told them we have to be 100% recycled in 2021.
Fantastic.
Okay, on the polybag, because all the shirt comes and you have this horrible plastic polybags, okay?
Polybags.
And there is thousands of it we threw away every single season. Thousands. And we came up with compostable.
Great.
It's possible, but I mean, I don't have a sustainability office and in my company. So when you have to hunt this in the market and find the right one, and
It takes
sorry
time.
about that, find the polybags, find the new one that are not manufactured 10,000 away from where your production is. It's also a challenge because it's very good to buy it, but if it comes by plane, it doesn't mean anything at the same time.
It's defeating, it's got the carbon footprint.
So you have to look at everything. Go
It's
and
very
source.
important what you're saying, because I think sustainability is not a competition. It's not about who's going to
Sharing.
do it better. Exactly.
Make it right.
It's
Just
like it's
share
not
the
about becoming
information.
the leader so that you're the best doing it. It's about creating a model that other people can use. And I think that's where maybe we're going a little bit wrong at the moment with it, because, as you said, each company has to internally do all the research, all the work, figure out, and it takes
Yes,
time, it
that's
takes
what we
money,
do.
and obviously, as we know,
That's what we
that's
do, yeah.
business. It's very expensive.
And you can gain, I mean, if someone who done the job already would have told me, like, Pierre, you know, your polybag for the shirts that are compostable, you buy it here.
Well, maybe
And
that's
your
what we need to
hanger,
start
you get it
sharing.
here.
We need a forum
of
or
course we
space
start
where...
sharing. I mean, we talk about something that goes beyond, you know, it's like make it relevant automatically, and you don't have to go and source from like
Maybe
for
it needs
weeks,
to be at Première Vision,
you know?
where they're buying the fabric. They
I
also
mean,
know where to
but
get
that
the
would be
packaging.
that would be a
But
great.
that would be a great
actually,
development.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, ask. We can name the groups. Ask them to do something with Première Vision and tell them, like, listen, guys, we can
We need some
certify that those
petitions.
companies. Well, but it's too important not to share. That's just the point.
They are doing that already, but maybe with selected people. For me, what is missing is there's so many blah blah and so less action, you know? So I would wish that when you are going to buy something, they'll say, oh, did you know that actually you could buy this and that's sustainable? And I always say, we are breathing, therefore we are creating CO2. So how sustainable are we, you know?
Yeah, it's a big issue, and in Première Vision we try to highlight people doing well, and our smart creation platform is really dedicated to this help to find the nice things. Something about polyester.
Yes.
I'm sorry, in this complex
it is complex.
subject. Polyester, it's not only bad, because polyester can be recycled and recycled and recycled and recycled, and it's not the same as cotton or wool. So there is never one vérité.
Well, on that, the good thing is that obviously we've heard that there are a lot of things to be improved, but from everything that you're saying, there are also lots of options and lots of ideas and lots of people doing great work, including yourselves. So I think there is hope.
I think there's hope. Do you think there's hope?
Of course.
And yes, how do you see the future?
I'm very positive always.
Very positive.
It's my nature. So I am confident in the young people. They are more and more interested. We can see that always, you know, with Greta Thunberg and all the children, all the young people. They are very interested in this subject. So I'm confident in them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Pierre, what about for you? What is your view of the future and hope of the fashion industry being better for the planet and humanity?
The new generation is there. I mean, my daughter is 13, my son is 17. My daughter is a big shopping, she loves to shop, but she goes to the kilo shop now as well, because we told her, like, come on, there is many things. You want a tie-dye sweater? No, you're not going to buy it. You're going to buy an old sweater, and you're going to do it yourself. And we do it on weekend. It's pretty fun as well.
It's very fun.
And also, when I talk about education, she has to turn the labels in the store before she buys something, country of origin. And I'm super strong with her about that. She can't buy something that is not made in Europe. Because, I'm sorry, but under a certain price, we know there is blood on the T-shirt. You were mentioning the income of people in Bangladesh. A €5 T-shirt, the people who make it, the person who make it, is not living normally. So it's our responsibility when you can afford to do it. Again, it's not like, it's not judgmental. It's not like you're bad because you buy a €5 T-shirt. It's just like when you can do it, you have to do it.
And we can't make a label made in EU en Europe. It does not exist. We should fight for that.
We're working on that.
Manufactured in Europe, in EU.
EU, absolutely.
We should. We can do that.
And you have hope, dear Kevin?
I always say step by step. I'm super slow growing business. I'm going to stay in my naive bubble, but I should look at the camera and say, you are the future. No, but you know what I mean? It's like, we are already doing it, you know? So it's the people looking at home. As you said, that's such a simple thing. Look at the tag. it already will make a difference. Or next time you buy something, just ask yourself, do I really need it? I know it's those super cheesy things, but at the end of the day, it works. So I don't think it's going to be us changing, it's the people at home watching this.
And Pascaline, you see this at Premier Vision, more and more people coming and sourcing sustainable fabrics and recycled fabrics.
Yes, and we believe in innovation, and innovation will change the world too. It's the future can be really positive, and we really believe in it.
Absolutely.
Because we don't want to have to go and live on Mars. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us today and for such an insightful conversation. I'm so glad that there is hope, and just please, let's all keep doing the good work.
Thank you very much. It was very
Thank
interesting.
you.
Thank you.
And to meet with the others.
And remember,
to meet with the
buy
others.
less, buy better.
Buy less, buy better.
Merci.